Hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of Bloody Good Horror. My name's Eric, and I'll be your host for this evening, where we will be reviewing the Shudder exclusive, John, Destroy All Neighbors, which I would describe
It's
to
a
you...
Shudder original, not necessarily
Oh,
exclusive.
Got it. I would describe this movie to you, except I just watched it, and I don't understand. So we'll get to that briefly here. First up, joining me from San Francisco, California, please welcome Rachel to the show.
Hello, I'm so excited to be back.
Next up from Indiana, please welcome Casey.
Hello.
And last up, from Manhattan, New York City. He's roaming the streets like a menace these days, from what I hear. Please welcome John Schnorrs to the show.
Hey! Menacing. The Upper East Side.
Menacing.
Yes.
That's right.
The moms, the nannies, the stay-at-home moms, and sundry old people. Watch your backs.
Oh, Lord.
There's some stay-at-home dads, too, I guess, presumably. I don't know. But
That's true. That's true. All right. That's all I got, John. Let's take a quick break and discuss Destroy All Neighbors.
This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. From the prime time. Main feature.
I don't know, John. It's January. It's
it's
dark
fucking
all the time.
cold.
You
It's very
know me,
cold.
You know me long enough to know where I'm
Eric,
at currently.
I assume you have not been outside in several days.
I had a dentist appointment today. Yeah, so I did
Okay.
leave my house. Yeah, I didn't like it, but
Yeah, no. Casey, is it? I assume it's freezing in Indiana too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's always pretty chilly out there.
it's balmy today. It's 23.
I have my heat turned up to 70,
Yeah.
which is why I'm wearing shorts right now.
We're what are we at? We're at like 20 right now, I think. 22. The high was like 28, I think. It's not been pleasant.
I mean,
So-
the Earth is telling you this is not habitable for humans, and yet you persist.
I mean, look, I actually would prefer this to the like 45-degree Januaries. That like those days are more terrifying existentially, I would say.
Oh, I'm fine with the extra like the. Oh, you mean like climate
Bro,
dread if
because-
it's
Yeah,
too
yeah.
warm in January?
Yeah.
I can't control that, John. Let's just make
well,
it 45.
That mentality is not getting us anywhere. That's for sure.
You're saying I'm part of the problem, John? Is that what you're saying?
You could extrapolate.
All right. You know what? I'll accept that. All right, John, please bring us the word of the day.
Eric, today's word is contiguous. That's contiguous, contiguous, sharing a common border, touching, or next or together in sequence. Contiguous.
Sounds
Yeah, comes to us from the Latin contigere, which means to be in contact.
What'd you call me?
Snards, this is a family show.
Damn, John.
Listen up.
You can only say that if you're in the UK.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, there you go. Contiguous.
I like it.
Neighboring, one might say.
What does that have to do with this movie?
Well, destroy all neighbors. Neighbors can't live with them, can't live without them. Is that the saying? I guess some people don't necessarily have neighbors.
John, I have no idea who wrote or directed this movie, but I know deep down in my soul that the person who wrote this movie has lived in Los Angeles for at least 15 years. Because they long ago left the land of understanding normal people.
Look, I have not done enough research to tell you how long any of the several writers on this film
I can do it right now while I'm
lived
supposed to
anywhere.
be listening to you talking.
You certainly could. So let's do this quickly. Director Josh Forbes. The only feature that I am familiar with from the Josh Forbes oeuvre is a film called Contracted Phase 2.
Wait, There's a contracted sequel?
I think they made a third one.
What?
Maybe
Did we
maybe
watch
not.
that?
There's at least two. I think we might have. Did we watch? We watched Contracted 1 was one of our live streams
Yeah.
way back in the day.
Oh, this is hilarious. The lead writer on this movie looks exactly like Jonah Ray.
That is not surprising.
Like he
The
cast himself in the movie.
yeah, I mean, I looked. So the writers' names here, just quickly: Mike Benner, who was he's a Bob's Burgers guy. You've got Jared Logan, who did the movie Stuber. I don't know if you guys saw Stuber. And then has done some other TV stuff. And then the last guy, Charles Piper.
Peeper.
He he's done some directing and producing, but I don't know that any of the writing. Yeah, it's like mostly shorts and things like that on his IMDb.
He lives in Los Angeles. John Ritter.
I think they all do.
He's from Philly. So
Oh,
that's
all
on
right.
your people.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, you mentioned the principal cast here. Jonah Ray plays the main character. He lives with his girlfriend Emily. Kieran Diol, who's been in a bunch of different television stuff. Jonah is an engineer at a studio. The studio is run by Thomas Lennon, but his real passion is prog rock, which he works on in his spare time. He's been working for 3 years on his prog rock sort of masterpiece, and we get to meet, like, he's got the lady who runs the building, lives across the hall, and we get to meet some of the other neighbors. But then a new neighbor moves in. So his one neighbor sells a screenplay and then is like moving out. But then a new neighbor moves in, and this is the start of all of William's problems. The new neighbor, what the hell? What's the guy's name? Vlad. Vlad is the new neighbor. He is, I mean, I don't know what he is played by Alex Winter, wearing
He's like
several prostheses.
all over, like the hands,
just-
the arms, like just head to toe prosthetics.
When you were like, "Oh, this is the Alex Winter over text," and I was like, "What?
Oh,
How
that's
did you?
funny.
How
I
did
could
you
just tell it
clock
was
who
not
this
what that
was?
dude looked like. So I'm like,
Well-
okay, with this cast, one of these people is under this, right?
I knew it was a person in a mask. Like, I didn't think that
It's
was
like
that
the old-
person's
it's like-
actual.
It's like the
appearance.
old people in X. You're like,
Yeah,
there's
it's
something weird
it's
here.
worse than that, I would say,
Oh.
in terms of the effects. But-
Considerably, yeah.
So Vlad is playing EDM music very loud all the time. He also has like a homebrewed weight set that he is sort
Yeah,
of like
he's got
always working out on.
buckets filled with concrete.
Yeah.
on a pole, which is pretty sweet.
But he's doing all this with his door open. I mean, the door is at least like open enough that every time he like goes out in the hallway. In any event, William starts to really lose it. This is compounded also at work. He's being sort of harassed by the person that the recording studio is recording. I can't remember that guy's name, but he's a quote unquote famous musician who's just like doing a lot of drugs and yelling at him and stuff. So he effectively has like a break where he confronts Vlad after fighting with his girlfriend. Vlad dies, and this precipitates sort of like a cascading issues for William, where he's running around with Vlad's body, other people are being killed. Like, he just gets crazier and crazier, yet triumphantly finishes the prog rock album. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers.
So
God.
that's the movie, really. Not that many neighbors are destroyed. That's what's interesting about the title here. So
I mean, he gets them all. It's accurate.
No,
It's
but only
not-
one of them is his neighbor.
No,
Okay,
there's
technically
two.
two. There's
I
another one at
guess
the end.
you're right. I guess there are 3 neighbors
There's a,
that get killed.
there's a
Yeah,
third,
all right,
but
fair.
that wasn't his fault.
Never
She
mind.
said
Yeah,
so.
yeah. He doesn't. Yeah.
I mean, it's serial manslaughter, you know.
All right, Rachel, what do you think of this?
I'm afraid to say based on everybody's reaction.
Oh
to
wow.
this.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, this movie is very zany. I think this is, especially if you're someone who enjoys the devil's lettuce, there is plenty to enjoy here. It's sort of like if Deathgasm and Falling Down had a beta baby, like that would be this movie. I mean, okay, I don't think that it totally comes together, and I think there's going to be a lot of very fair critiques of this movie.
It doesn't totally come together.
It's just shy of Citizen Kane.
Yeah.
But there is, I think, joy to be had in this. I think that, like, Alex Winter as Vlad, I found myself laughing at quite a few things. I love the bizarre choices that he's making in this performance that largely kind of worked for me. I did enjoy the special effects, which are cartoonish and grotesque and have a charm to them that I enjoy, and kind of papered over some of the minor weaknesses in the plot, you might say. And as someone who is very grumpy and annoyed by loud neighbors, I felt both pathologically seen and shamed by Willie, because I'm also very non-confrontational in the same ways that he is. So, like, I could definitely see.
It's that special mix of non-confrontational, but also boiling over with homicidal rage at any moment.
I mean, that is probably how
I
I'm
did
best
relate to that.
described. Yes, you get it. You understand. And I think
listen, I lived in a city. I have laid awake at night, not able to sleep because of a neighbor partying, literally just imagining what it would be like to go murder everyone there.
relatable content. Yeah, same. Definitely. But I mean, I think we've seen horror movies about metal. We've seen more horror movies about like hard rock, but like a horror movie about progressive rock is just intrinsically funny to me. Like, and this movie is so sincere in its fandom of this genre that I can't help but find it kind of funny. I think like it's kind of like in the Psycho Gorman lane. If you like that, sort of like 90s slapstick.
Let's not
do
besmirch
not
the good name of
besmirch.
Psycho
Yeah,
Gorman.
that's exactly.
I'm besmirching. So yeah, I rolled my eyes a lot, but I also
Rope him
laughed
into
a
this.
lot. So I don't know. I didn't hate this.
Casey.
I like this movie, but it wasn't what I'd hoped to be, and that's entirely my fault. I saw the cast of this, and I'm a big fan of Jonah Ray Rodriguez. I get huge a fan of his on MST3K. I love Thomas Lennon. I love Kumail Nanjiani. I love John Daly. Just great names. So I had an image built up in my brain of what I was hoping this was going to be, especially with what we saw in the trailers with some of the over-the-top gore and stuff like that, it is a super gory movie. I think there's good jokes in this movie. I think the pacing throws it off for me. I was expecting, Rachel, you said it was zany. I said I wished it was zanier. In my mind, I'd probably thinking more campy. I was expecting something a little more frenetic and like over the top in that sense. Once I could get my head wrapped around it, I got kind of more into a groove with this. There's a lot of subtle jokes. There's a lot of one-liners, which is where I think a lot of the comedy and the humor is, their reaction to stuff and whatnot. It's a very nerdy comedy, very nerd comedy type of genre. It's definitely in its kind of its own wheelhouse as far as comedy subgenres go, mixed in with horror. So I appreciate what they put together. It's just not what I'd hoped it was.
Yeah, I don't think I had high expectations for this one, which helped me.
Rachel, you mentioned having an altered mind state might have helped. I did not have an altered mind state. I'm on like day 3 of not even drinking, which that's as close as I get to dry January. So,
Attaboy.
I like honestly almost got up to get a drink while I was watching this because I was just like, I cannot be doing this right now. Man, I didn't laugh ultimately. Like it didn't hit me. There's not even really jokes. Like Casey, you're sort of saying there's like one-liner, like there's like moments, there's like bits that get set up, but I think it's not like punchy or snappy in a way that I like want. I don't know. I always like for horror comedies, it's like Hell Baby. It's like what are the two rednecks who start accidentally killing all the people?
Tucker and Dale.
Tucker and Dale. Like those are like comedies that are set in like a horror universe. This, like, I don't know what the fuck is going on with this movie. The progress. So the funniest part of it to me is probably what's John Daly is the guy's name who plays the like YouTuber who's like teaching about how to make a progress. Like, I was amused. Yeah, exactly. I was very amused by him, and I even liked when Willie starts to like go off the deep end, but they like stick with that shtick, and so he's like doing the like how to dispose of a body. You know, I mean that stuff worked for me. And I thought Thomas Lennon and the sort of like as the boss was just amusing.
He's always funny. Yeah.
Yeah, like there a lot of the other characters. So it seemed to me they had Thomas Lennon for like a couple days max. You know, they had Kumail for like 2 hours or less. You know, like even John Daly, I assume he did all that stuff in like a day. You know, like they got him in costume.
Who's John
and they were
Daly?
just like,
I don't even know who that is.
You'd recognize him if you looked him up.
well,
He's been on
TV
he's on Kroll
or-
Show and
yeah, he was on
History
Kroll
and-
Show. He's been on a bunch of those, like sort of.
Not the
So
golfer?
no, so but then like when you get to the other characters, like the unhoused gentleman, you know, who has a moment or two, and I sort of like the makeup they gave him after he dies. He was fine. Like him, the Alex Winter, the Vlad stuff, like was not working for me at any level, and they hang a lot of the movie off of the Vlad thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's how I put it.
and like Jonah Ray, like I don't know, like what did we just saw him doing the like the giant dildo thing. That was him, right? Mm-hmm. In Satanic Hispanics.
Yep.
Oh,
Hammer of
well,
Zanzibar.
That was
we
a funny
didn't-
skit. That was like a really funny,
Yeah, well,
the
and-
writing was really good.
I'm remembering that we all talked about it, but no one heard that because that was the last
that's
episode.
right.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So I said very nice things about Jonah Ray at that point. I just
did
like
I.
don't know what I'm supposed to make of him in this. And we can get into it. I'll stop talking. I know I've been talking a while. I also just think like they don't do him any favors with this character because the character is like intentionally unlikable. And like what I don't know, it just like didn't give me anything
I'm gonna
to
be honest. My first
be into.
impression was like, "Is this what I'm like?"
This is not a great
yeah.
movie to see yourself in.
It is. They do put their finger on like there's.
It's the obsessive part of like his interest.
Yeah.
That I was like, okay, is this what I sound like when I'm talking about music?
Mm-hmm.
I loved the credit sequence. The credit sequence was great. I don't.
It made me nervous because I'm like, oh boy, there's a lot of like weirdo effects going on
I
right now.
don't understand the humor. Like, I agree the Vlad character's the best part, but he's not fun. To me, he wasn't funny. It's just like, it helped it when I Googled to find out who it was, saw that it was Alex Winter, because I just really like him. He seems like, I mean, for people who don't know, so like he was in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, right? That he did like Freaked, but then he kind of like washed out of Hollywood. He didn't like, I mean, I'm sure he was doing stuff, but he was not in like, he was not very visible for like 20 years or something.
Well, he does not have a ton of credits. Like if
Right,
you go,
and
I
he's
mean, it's
kind of
like-
come back, and he's been working on horror stuff and doing conventions and like really kind of embracing the fandom side of it, and it's been cool. And he seems like a person that's because he stepped away for so long, he seems down to earth. So like then knowing he was him, I was like, oh, this is fun. Like he's hamming it up, but it's not really like I just whatever the wavelength of the humor was of the script was not connecting with me, and that's kind of the whole thing, right? I also like I don't know anything about prog rock, dude. Like that doesn't connect with me at all. It's so unrelatable. And here's my thing is there's been a lot of this kind of exact kind of movie with metal as the genre. And I do think there's something just intrinsically more relatable about metal, especially if you're a horror fan. Like I'm not Joe, right? I can't do a deep dive on the genre, but like I like Iron Maiden. I understand Metallica.
you wear black t-shirts. Like
And they
what
always
else?
and that's the thing is those metal like horror comedies where it's all about their metalhead. I feel like they always take care to keep it accessible to I wouldn't say a large audience, but like a medium sized audience.
Well-
Whereas they're so down the rabbit hole up their own butt about this prog rock thing.
Yeah.
Like the whole speech in the middle about how amazing it is. I'm like, yeah, but I don't know anything about it, so this doesn't land. Like
They
it
were
doesn't-
hold on, just to be clear, they don't let the writers of this movie do not like prog rock. Like they're
Hard
not
disagree.
like.
I think that the
I don't
person
think-
who wrote this movie has been waiting to write this movie their whole life just so they could talk about prog rock.
I think they
I
were
think
making
they're
fun of
making
it the
fun of
entire
it.
time.
I think it's self-knowing. I'm gonna hard disagree there.
I mean, okay, fair enough.
Fight.
I'm ready to go to the internet and be like, have they said anything? Because it just felt to me like they were. It's like the people who like used to. There was all these like internet jokes, whatever, back when I was on the internet in 2007
Why would you rate
about
this
yacht
movie
rock.
if you weren't really appreciative of the thing, but like self-effacing about it?
I mean, sure, I'm sure they like some progress,
Because that's
but like,
what the lane should be.
but the like things that Willie were saying were not meant to be taken as like he was meant to sound like an asshole when he was saying them. He wasn't saying things that you were meant to be like, oh, he really likes prog rock. It was like, no, he has like a mental health issue. Like that's
Yeah, but
how
when
I
they
was-
get to that speech, though, dude, that speech is so you're supposed to be like, yeah, I get
no,
it. Like,
he's an unlikable person, and the fact that he is acting that way about prog rock is meant for it to be
But
a
I'm- but
signal.
do you know the
to
moment
you to
I'm
be like,
talking
oh, they
about?
hate prog rock.
do you know the
I
moment
think-
I'm talking about? It's when he gives this emotional speech and the camera's zooming down on him, and like,
Yeah, yeah.
that's you're totally supposed to be like with him in that moment.
I just do not think so.
Well, I don't know what to do with this, John, then, because we both hated the movie for completely different reasons.
There you go.
Once again, you elude
Well,
me.
no. I actually think we're aligned on a lot of probably the qualitative aspects of the film.
And I know Rachel
but
said
it
like,
is
you know,
interesting that we disagree.
No,
maybe smoke
where-
some
where
weed.
did-
I'm gonna say
I
like you're gonna need something harder than that. Like you're gonna need
Just straight go to the ketamine.
hallucinogens. Yeah.
Just yeah.
I think we're all in agreement that they went far too deep on the whole prog rock joke. It's the angle that they came at it from that's in disagreement. But yes,
Yeah.
they went.
And
They spent way too much time on it, and it just slowed it down more.
It's just like, and I occasionally in the show I'll say this about a movie, and it's a little hard for me to like parse, but it's just so LA. It just feels like such an LA movie made by a bunch of people in the LA bubble, and it doesn't, like. I feel like when you watch an indie horror film where the scriptwriter grew up in like Chicago or like a small town somewhere and they've had this idea their whole life. And yeah, maybe it gets made in Hollywood, but it still has that heart to it. Whereas like I just felt like I was watching a movie made by aliens. Like I couldn't
There's a
connect to
very
it.
specific like flavor of bitterness of people who've been struggling in LA for a minute that is definitely in this movie.
It's like at the heart of it, yeah.
Well, and the joke that when the screenwriter guy's leaving and he's like, "Oh man, tell me how'd you do it?" And the guy he's like, "Well, I've been working on it for like 3 years, and also I have a trust fund from my dad."
I do though. What I will say is I do agree. Like the best bits are. I mean, there's some really good comedic actors in it that get little moments to shine. Like I think Thomas Lennon is doing a lot with not being given very much. Kumail is probably the funniest part, honestly.
That dude always cracks me up.
He's
He was on
just
point.
doing himself. Like that's just
Yeah.
like the character
That's
that
his
he does. They just put him in like a security guard shirt.
I did like
but
when
I
he
mean-
tried to bribe him with like $17. That was funny.
The thing that my brain always goes to though, like when Eric talks about not sure, like the comedy didn't connect with him, which I get, but like to me, it's Jonah Ray started out with Chris Hardwick on that Nerdist podcast. That's where I first learned of him, but he was already a stand-up at that point. And then there's that circle, that era of stand-up comedy comedians coming out of LA that was Jonah and Kumail, John Daly and Nick Kroll, and all those guys came around at the same time, and they all have a very specific sense of humor that they all kind of rotate around it. As far as if you watch a lot of their stand-up and stuff, this really feels on point with what their style stand-up is to me. With
Now,
the
Chris
bitterness
Hardwick
and
he wasn't
and the
involved
jokes,
in this, right?
No, I just no, but I said
Because you
that-
said that over text, and I was like, wait, is Chris Hardwick allowed to do things again?
but he was in that same crowd of
Rachel
stand-ups, that came up together. So they're in like that Patton Oswalt, Brian Posehn set. To the edge of it.
Yeah, those guys are funny though.
Yeah. There's levels.
I don't know, man.
I liked the skeleton was, I guess it was the lady. It was the
I liked the
floor
effects.
manager or whatever.
I liked
Yeah.
the effects on that very much. It was very
yeah.
weird.
Well, it was straight out of Return of the Living Dead. I mean,
you know what?
That's
The
what I
other,
thought.
the other,
The eyeballs.
the other.
This is the Psycho Gorman stuff I'm talking about, like those kinds of effects, those sort of like.
By the end, too, I was.
I want to go watch Psycho Gorman.
It's
now.
not
You've,
Psycho
like,
Gorman.
gotten me
Here's what it
excited
is.
for it again.
By the time you get to that end scene where like everything combines into this big demon thing, I was like, oh, I get it. This is like store brand Tenacious D movie.
Yeah.
This is like the store brand Rice Krispies compared to like the Tenacious. Like it's the same kind of thing. You're on a musical journey. The devil's involved. Like it's like that if you made it as a horror comedy.
Right. Yeah, and Psycho Gorman's a good comparison too, because
Yeah.
that's what I had built up in my brain going into this. But with that cast on there, so I was thinking, oh, this is going to be crazy, and it's not that pace of movie as Psycho Gorman. It's really different as far as pacing goes. So that's
I
where
cannot
struggled.
believe the amount of time we are spending referencing Psycho Gorman. It's like
Mission
blowing my
accomplished.
mind right now.
They're just trying to confuse me by
Triple
referencing
down.
something I like.
It's like two similar movies. I think that's the start of a subgenre.
I will
All right,
not
how
be
about
fooled.
Frankenhooker? Like it's kind of in the same lane as
Yeah, wow.
Frankenhooker.
I mean, all the
Rachel,
Hannah
Frankenhooker is an American masterpiece. Okay.
I said what I said.
Now, and like when I was talking about one-liners and stuff, it's not necessarily punching one-liners that crack me up. It's like characters' reactions. They say something, offhand when they react to something that happens on screen. It's those type of one-liners. Very subtle, and it's not something that you can base a movie on. That's where a lot of the laughter was for me, though.
Did it bother anyone else at the end when she was like, he's in prison and she's talking to him and she goes, "I left something in your cell for you."
Yeah.
And you're like, how? How did you do that?
That was not the thing that bothered me the most from this movie. No,
It was like the cherry on top.
I can't even remember. Oh, what is that thing? It's like some kind of weird instrument.
It's just some little like
Yeah.
analog
Electric
synthesizer.
I've seen it before. I don't know what it's
Yes,
called.
yeah.
It's like a prog rock staple.
That's the thing is like there are aspects of the production of prog rock that definitely cross over with synthwave, which is why when I saw the opening credits, I was like, okay.
I know. I knew you would be getting nervous.
But-
That's what
you know.
I when I started pushing this, that was part of my thinking was, oh, I think Eric would like this because of the music angle.
Yeah.
But how long did it take you guys to clock that Alex Winter was also the lawyer?
Oh, immediately.
Well, he's not in
Uh,
makeup.
That took me like a good 30 seconds, though, because he was shadowy and they didn't have a good
Oh.
close-up on him for a second. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute.
He's actually pretty good in that scene too. I liked him. In that
Yeah.
scene.
The lawyer, I did not clock him in either instance until after the movie was over.
This is
but
for
I did
true
like
Alex
the
Winter
lawyer.
fans only.
How dare you.
Okay.
Apparently, if you're an Alex Winter completist, you've got to see this movie.
Yeah.
The costuming on Vlad was just it looked like the troll from Troll 2. That was
I got an
the
even deeper
hands?
cut. He looks like the creeper in Creepshow 2. The guy who's in the it's actually Tom Savini
Yeah.
in Creepshow 2, who's all done up like that, and he's like in the wraparounds. He looks exact.
God, I don't even remember. I'd have to go look that up. I haven't seen
been
Creepshow 2
so
since I was
long.
like 12 maybe.
How dare you.
I was thinking more of like a trauma take on Mario vibe.
Well,
There's definite Mario, like you know when somebody's like, I used AI to make Simpsons characters in real life.
Yes.
It's like that, but with Mario.
it's like Mario mixed with the troll.
Yeah, exactly.
Is Alex Winter short? Because that was the other thing with Vlad.
I think
like,
Yeah.
I believe
he's a
he is
short
a short
king.
king, John.
I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen Bill and Ted.
I mean, but like I don't know.
Hollywood magic.
Well,
John.
is Jonah Ray very tall?
Yeah, he's pretty tall. He's taller. I'm 6 foot. He's taller than I am.
Yeah. He I was like when I was looking up the cast and stuff, I noticed Jonah Ray, he's definitely lost a lot of weight, it seems like.
He has. He was like that, and he's thinner in Satanic Hispanics
Yeah.
too.
No, well, yeah, I mean, for sure. I just like
You guys can all check your phones now. I texted you a picture of the creeper from Creepshow 2.
nice stand by.
Yeah.
Well, it's also like the leprechaun kind of. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no. Yeah. Nailed
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, just put facial hair on it.
If it's one thing I do well, it's that.
Referencing
Things that look
the
like
creeper.
other things
things that look like things from 80s horror movies.
from 1980s. Yeah.
Yes.
I did get a good laugh though. The Jonah's diversion for the police so he could finish his prog rock album was to get his girlfriend to talk about their ski trip. That was cracking me up. Good, especially when he turns around, he's like, "Okay, we got 25 to 30 minutes to finish this."
It's so confusing. Like, part of it is the confusion with the main character. Like, he is really unlikable. So it's not exactly a movie where like he doesn't do anything and it looks like he didn't do anything. Like he did murder people, right? And so
Yeah.
He
and then the
manslaughtered
girlfriend
them, as,
sees
like,
him murder
Rachel
someone,
pointed out.
but then at the end she's helping him, and it's like I don't know.
I mean, here's the thing. I was trying not to
Then
come on
smash
and be a
cut, he
feminist
wins
killjoy, but
a Grammy
the female
or something?
character is not
Yeah.
great in this. I would say
Go on.
probably the biggest weak point for me is the female character. Like
Rachel,
she is.
I was expecting / hoping you were going to
No,
play this part.
I wanted
but
to like be fun this time, but
this is the fun part for me. Oh,
but
boy.
yeah,
Come
I
on.
mean the depiction of the female character in this is not
It's
great.
not good. It's
Like
no.
he is the most dubious of prizes, and she is a beautiful attorney. And like at the end, he gets the girl despite being a serial manslaughterer and someone that likes prog rock way too much to be
And
seeing
in
the
prison.
inside of a vagina. But
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's all. It's all like part and parcel of like. It's like an insane fantasy that you're like that he's living in,
Right.
which to me includes the ending of like prog rock being like an actual thing that other people care about. You know, when they're like celebrating his album.
Thank you. I mean, like, and let's talk about who the audience is for this. You know anybody under like 40 who even knows what prog rock is, John?
No, well, I mean, like,
I mean,
theoretically maybe, but again, like the movie. My take here is that the movie is not made for prog rock fans. It's made for everyone to think prog rock is lame and laugh at.
Yeah, but in order to really be in the joke, you have to know about it.
Well, that is true.
Otherwise, it's just a thing. Like,
and they
I feel
do.
like it's so sincere, and I feel like this movie,
I
the
also
audience for
do.
this movie is for like 40-year-olds who got their recreational marijuana card. Like that is who this is for.
Yeah,
There is such a 90s Gen X sensibility
yes,
to this movie.
Yes.
Yeah,
That,
that's true.
like that's who this is for. Like the youngs are not going to get this movie.
Well, I guess to
also,
your
we
point,
should point. You are of Gen X, Rachel.
I
Right?
am indeed.
Yeah, so you can say that.
I'm the latest, but yes.
I think Eric and I are technically
We are older
millennials.
millennials,
You're
John.
You know.
millennials, yeah.
We no. I guess look, the thing I would say about this prog rock bit, and like whether it's, I guess one way to frame it is maybe it's like triangulated for those people who lived through the prog rock moment, because it was like what, a 1-2 year. There was like a moment, and maybe you even like had some of those albums and like celebrated them at the time, but you've moved on. Like the world has moved on. This character hasn't, and the movie is like making fun of the idea that prog rock is
It's
still
just
like a
such a
thing.
niche thing, and I say that as a person who's exclusively into extremely niche
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I think there's also I think they're also winking at just fans that get that deep into anything
Yeah.
in the same manner too. It could be synth rock, it could be classic rock, it could be ska, whatever. It's the same kind of.
Now, a
laughing.
ska
It would have been
movie,
funnier
now-
to me
now
if it
we're
was
talking-
ska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been down with that.
Man, you clearly have never been cornered at a party by some guy that wants to talk to you about prog rock.
Just everybody in suits playing trumpets.
Holy shit! If that happens to you again, you gotta call us. Just send us a voice memo.
I'm gonna pocket dial you, and I'll just be like, "Here you go, guys.
Just
I hope you have
voice memo.
45
I
to
mean-
65 minutes."
I imagine there's people walking around California right now, unironically into ska. There must be
Ska or prog rock?
ska.
I believe ska more than prog rock for sure. But
Yeah.
I feel like prog rock actually there's more of a shot of that. Like, there's too much like pork pie hatting in ska that
I don't know that prog rock's still a thing, but I think it also brushes really close to a lot of like weird metal subgenres.
Can we at least all agree that we all hate swing dancing?
Yeah.
Won't
yeah.
agree. Won't agree.
Oh, really?
I mean, like, I've never been swing dancing, but I don't know. I could see that. I could see myself getting down with that.
I don't know, but Big Bad Voodoo Daddy did play a Christmas concert here in the next town over
Yeah.
this last year.
I
remember
had
the swing
Big Bad
dance
Voodoo
craze.
Daddy albums back in the
Oh
day.
yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else about this movie?
I enjoyed the gore. It was very gory. They landed on that aspect that I was hoping for, and it was cartoony gore. So
I'll say this: the name did remind me of The Zombies Ate My Neighbors,
yeah.
Yes.
a classic Super Nintendo
Incredible.
game.
Yeah. That's actually, and I was expecting there to be something, I don't know, alien. Like, that was a good, nice. Thank you, Dusty. I was expecting, back to the, like, zanierness. Like, yeah.
Dusty says, "Hell yeah, Big Bad Voodoo Daddy."
It's my dude.
I'm sorry,
Like
but
what we
all I can hear in my head now is you and me and the Bottle Big 3 tonight.
Listen. So let's take this conversation to the logical conclusion, which is the squirrel nut zippers.
Yeah.
They had that one video I remember that got
Yeah.
played on MTV
For
all the
that-
time.
The song was
Hell.
called Hell.
Oh, yes. Hell.
And it's
Okay.
good.
Right.
Yeah.
I was a
That was
band
an
geek,
era.
so I was a band geek, so I dipped my toes in both ska and swing.
Casey, that was like your moment. Like, it was like the
It
tuba
was.
is like an instrument on a video in MTV. Like,
See, there was a moment I came out of high school, and my best friend, who's a saxophone player, I told him, I said, we should start a band and get all of us from band and make it like a jazz band or a swing band. And he's like, nah, that'd never take off. And the swing music craze took off literally like 2 years later.
Mr. Shot.
I don't know. I think there's still time for you to be John Candy from Home Alone.
Okay, guys, I can't talk about swing dancing anymore. Would you recommend this movie, Rachel?
I mean, I would with a caveats. Yes, I would. Like, if you want a good little stoner experience, you want to giggle about something dumb, you love Alex Winter. There are jokes in this movie. It is funny. It is gory. It is slapsticky. And if that is your lane, if you like a story about a man who is maybe a little psycho and with a lot of gore, you might enjoy this. Wait, try to spill.
Casey.
I would say yes, with the same caveat, with your assistance of choice.
John.
No.
Yeah,
Absolutely not.
that's a hard no for me, dog. All of our cells currently, John, are deteriorating, and we're hurtling towards our own mortality. You don't have time for this movie. I'm just telling you that. There's better things out there. And I say that as a person who's watched Breaking Bad probably 17 to 35 times all the way through.
Oh Lord, you're gonna be talking like Joe by mid-year about metal things that you're into.
All right. Let's take a quick break and do some fan mail.
Send feedback to info@bloodygoodhorror.com or on Twitter using hashtag AskBGH. Join Patreon to get back episodes and much more. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror.
And we're back. John, since I know you're not on Slack, you know what you missed today? A bunch of talk about mosh pitting experiences. You don't strike me as a person that's been in a mosh pit before.
Not a real one, let's say. I had friends that were pretty into going to mosh pits.
My
Into a
favorite
kerfuffle at the library, though.
My favorite story is
every-
Jody's, who grew up going to like Christian rock concerts, and about how they had pits, but they weren't allowed to like hit each other, so they were jump around pits, is what he said, which is adorable.
Yes.
No
But
mosh
were you
pitting,
just
Christian
you were
side
just
hug.
jumping vertically? Like,
Side
Yeah.
hug. That's so the genitals don't touch Rachel. That's where the devil is in between there.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Save a whole
Uh,
lot of room
room
for
for
the Holy
Jesus.
Spirit.
that's right.
Mosh pits. That's a young man's game. These knees can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, John.
The guys, my buddies who were into it were also like the jocks, and it struck me as like a thing they did rather than just like fight people. So I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's cool. Like, and they would come home with injuries, let's say. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say it like there you have to be careful as a girl being on the edge of one of those dependent on sort of musical genre. Like when I would go to, and now this is probably embarrassing, I don't know, but whatever had happened, when I would go to Pantera
worse
shows,
than Big Bad Food.
Oh, Pantera's cool.
you know, okay, all right, I was
Yeah.
fine because like there was like it was very essentialist. Like all the guys had shaved heads, which is why I'm saying it's probably problematic now, and all the ladies had hair, right? But then you go to like a Metallica concert and you get punched in the face. It's a
Wow.
little harder to tell the difference.
Because everybody's got long hair.
Everybody's got long hair. Yeah.
So I had to cut my hair to go to the Metallica concerts.
Right. So you can stop getting punched in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, if
All
you're
I
getting
can
punched
tell-
in the face in the we might need to have a deeper conversation. It might not be follicularly based.
Yeah.
All I can tell you is I almost passed out from the heat at an old 97's concert last summer, so mosh pit is definitely out of the question.
It did, though, bring up Casey's story about being at Lollapalooza like in 1990 or 91 or something, which sounds
I looked
amazing.
it up. I think it was 93. This is my first time seeing a mosh pit. And Shelton, I think, could point it out after I described it, because we were in the lawn section and I saw the crowd split. And this is my first time seeing a mosh pit in person. And I turned and I saw two walls of dudes lining up like almost arm in arm, getting ready to charge at each other. And I'm like, hell no, and started walking the other way. And then Shelton told us that was known as the Wall of Death.
Red Rover, but make it metal.
I do like
Yeah.
that. John, one time in college, went to see a fine band called Limp Bizkit. And my friend was down like in the pit the whole time. And then at the end, he was also driving home. Place empties out. We walk all the way out to our car, and he realizes that he lost his keys in the pit. And the arena was like shut down. Oh, no. Luckily for me, my college was like 20 minutes down the road. 10 minutes. Everyone else lived like an hour away and had to like wait for someone to come pick them up.
That's
Oh,
terrible.
so you were like, bye. Like you didn't bring them home.
No,
with you. You were like,
I'm trying to remember. We ended up getting back to my dorm somehow, and then they got picked up from there, but I don't remember how. We might have taken a cab. That was before Uber, John. Remember
Yeah.
cabs?
Yes, it was definitely before Uber. I still take a cab. We got cabs all over around here.
Well, you live in a proper city.
Mad cabs.
Yeah.
I actually walk to concerts nowadays because that same venue where I saw my first Wall of Death, I actually live a mile down the road from it now.
info@bloodygoodhorror.com. It's the email address. No email this week.
Okay.
Caitlin from Kissimmee must be busy. Yeah, sorry, I was looking through comments. What do we got, Casey, on Threads?
Yeah, we got a few threads this week. A couple good ones. First one comes from Metal Prof. Who was the worst neighbor you ever had?
It's a good one. She's got a worst
many to
neighbor story.
choose from.
We had a neighbor. So the first apartment, it wasn't the first apartment. It was one of our early apartments that Suzanne and I lived in together. Tiny, 500 square feet, one bedroom. The adjoining wall of our bedroom was like the other person's bedroom. Very similar layout in the apartment, I assume. You know, it was like that. The whole building was like this. He was a very nice man / guy. He was probably our age or maybe like a little older. We don't know exactly what he did for a full-time job, but he would DJ. And he would come home after the DJ sets with a lady friend. We're not sure if it was always the same lady friend or if it was a different lady friend.
Down, huh?
And they would get after it like they had both been on a lot of drugs.
What does that sound like? Is it when you say that, is it because they were going for a really long time, or was it arrhythmic, or like what was the
Everything under the sun. There were a couple times where the woman's responsiveness, or I don't like her,
Oh no.
she was expressing her pleasure at volumes that I like. Just
Oh, well,
look,
good for
it's-
her, I guess. That's great.
I mean, sure it felt performative. Let's just say,
Mm,
as
yeah, I
someone
don't
trying
like
to
that.
sleep
I'm not a fan of that.
at like 4 a.m, I was definitely like, hey, you could be a little quieter probably with this.
Did you see her outside of those incidents, or was it like once a week at the same time she would come in and?
Well, it was
enjoy
always
this?
no. Well, we don't know if it was like we almost never saw him because we were like regular people with just normal jobs and who slept like during
You
the
didn't
night
keep
times.
vampire hours, so you never saw
He
him.
was like out and about and would like come in when we like literally he would be like coming in when we were like leaving the apartment. I think we might have seen her like once. He wasn't otherwise he was fine, but it was like there was a good like 6 to 8 months of being woken up almost every weekend in the middle of the night. It's not the best.
That's
it's
not
bad.
great. That's not great.
Man, I had neighbors in my second place in Boston who were like hardcore, not only hoarders, so they lived across the hall. Hardcore hoarders and like 3 or 4 adults living in this place and just smoking 24/7. And you weren't allowed to smoke. And if you call the maintenance guy, literally one time called, could hear him in the hallway talking to the guy through the door and basically just laughing and being like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. Like, we're not going to do anything about it. So that was cool. But it's one of those situations where like you want them to get kicked out, but I was also really afraid of what would get released if they had to clean that place out.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what's living in there, dude. Like, it's all going somewhere if they disturb it. At one point, one of them died. Like, and just got like, one of them died one night. The younger kid got the cops called on him, and I watched through my peephole as he was like, I wouldn't say he was resisting arrest, but he definitely was not being cordial
Cooperative?
with the officers, and they threw him down the stairs.
Oh,
And then came back like a week later to interview me to see what I saw.
And they were
I
like,
was like, "Yeah, look
you
fine to
didn't
me,
see
sir."
nothing,
Like,
right?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
like 10 out
Because
of
he was a piece
10.
of shit. Like, if I liked the guy, maybe I would have like said something. But man, it was just never ending with them. It sucked.
I once lived in a very thin-walled and ceilinged apartment underneath a Tongan rugby team. That that were they had a great time. They were very nice. I liked them very much, except for that they loved to, when they'd win a game, they would have a karaoke party that lasted until the sun rose. And can I tell you, they did a lot of Celine Dion, not very well.
Oh God.
And the same songs over and over and over. And they would come over drunk and be like, Kate Winslet, come out. Because I had red hair at the time. And apparently that was enough. But they were very nice, other than the Celine Dion. I did have another neighbor that actually coincidentally looked quite a bit like our favorite character from Destroy All Neighbors.
Vlad?
Yeah. He had some pretty severe scarring from a scabies incident. And and he was in
You asked? You were like, what's going on?
my
over here?"
roommate told me. My roommate, I think, probably like smoked with him and got the full story. I was like, please stop letting him in. But he was in manufacturing, and by that I mean methamphetamines.
Okay.
And so he had an entire trailer like decorated in blacklight reactive puffy paint that he would do all night. Like on his walls, and you had to like try to avoid him because he would always come with you with a present that he had dumpster dived for you. So occasionally I would get like half-used lipsticks that I had to be like, "Thank you very much, sir." Yeah, he was a lot. And I think he
Lord.
did eventually rob us.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Eddie in the YouTube chat says we had a cult leader, a Haitian minister that did all-night spiritual healing prayer sessions, loud and praising Jesus all night long.
Okay, you win, Eddie. You win.
Yeah.
That's not great.
Did he have scabies, though? Just
Just a raging case.
We had our first apartment here in Indy. We had a neighbor. He was a handicapped fellow who was fascinated with dumpster diving, and the dumpster was in the lot just outside off of our back porch. And Colleen and I would smoke on the back porch. So he was a nice guy, and he wasn't belligerent, and he lived with his mom, so it was pretty obvious what the situation was going. But the boy was obsessed with that dumpster, and he would. There's a number, I can't tell you how many
Boy
times
in
I
his
go on.
dumpster. A tale
I
as
go
old
on
as
to-
time.
I'd go out any time of day on the back porch, smoke a cigarette, and you'd see his 2 little feet sticking out of the side of the dumpster.
Oh my God.
And finally, you'd rock over and you'd be like, Michael, I think his name is Michael, I'm not sure. I'd be like, Michael, get out of the dumpster, bud. Your mom doesn't want you in there. And he'd get out, you'd send him on his way.
Good Lord.
It got to the point, though. It got to the point, like, where us, because we had, like, 4 apartments in one building, and, you know, those clusters like that. And so, like, those of us in the building knew, like, if you had stuff that you knew that he'd get he'd be drawn by, you just kind of set it to the side of the dumpster to let him, go through it, because you know he was going to go in there.
Oh, Jesus. I thought you were going to say you would take it somewhere else so that he didn't get into it, but no, it was like didn't even need to dive. Yeah.
He would, if you happened to stop and talk to him, he'd tell you what he was into. But he was. Our one neighbor gave him his old mattress one day, and Michael was beside himself. He was so happy. We even helped him carry it home.
Oh my God.
That's
And we
weirdly
did check.
heartwarming.
We did check with his mom ahead of time. We're like, he's bringing this home. It comes from his house, just so you know. It's okay.
Lordy. Other threads.
Oh yes, I'm sorry. I forgot.
Casey, you were ready to chill. I could tell.
I was.
He's done.
I was in the zone.
He's out.
Next up, we have Blob Nelson. What's the best shitty neighbors horror movie? The Burbs, Parents, and others.
The Burbs is so goddamn good.
Burbs
The
is very,
It's
very
like,
the Burbs.
is incredible.
Yeah, I don't know. This is one where it's like a small enough genre. I'd have to do
Like
some
Tom
Googling.
Hanks, 90s Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, it's great.
That cast is just great.
Feldman.
Yeah. Drugged out Corey Feldman. Man, there's a great. You ever see that clip? Okay. I can't never remember this guy's name. His first name is Dick. He's like a character actor who's in that movie, and he's also in Gremlins. What is his name, Rachel? Dick Miller. If you Google him, you recognize him. Okay, so he's in The Burbs. He plays one of the neighbors. And there's this great behind-the-scenes clip that made the rounds on Twitter a couple of years ago where it's like all the main actors in this movie, including Feldman, all standing around getting ready to shoot a scene. And Corey Feldman is just like vibrating. Like, I don't know if he's on coke or if he's just ADHD or what. He's just like out of his mind. And he won't stop talking. And Dick Miller, this like old Hollywood character, he's like a workhorse, right? He just looks over at him and he goes, "Shut the fuck up, kid." And that's it. That's the end of the clip. It's incredible. It's so good.
I just like Googled quickly the movie's Neighbors. Have you guys seen? It's not their comedies, obviously, but those are a delight. Zac Efron and
I like that.
frat. He's like a
I like
frat.
that one.
Oh yeah.
I thought you
You
meant a
know-
horror movie. I was like, I'm
That
No,
movie-
yeah.
I own that movie Parents on VHS with what's his face there?
Randy
Quaid,
Quaid.
but I've never seen it.
Wait, what? Sorry, say it again.
Parents with Randy Quaid.
Oh yeah,
It's like where
I've
they're
seen it, but
cannibals or something.
again, that was like an HBO watch back in
It's just great cover
Rosemary's
art.
Baby is a Neighbors
I'll
horror
take
film.
Okay, how about it's a little bit of a stretch, but I think it works. Serial Mom.
It's like
was pretty bad to her neighbors.
neighborhood based.
Yeah, she was pretty bad to her neighbors.
We used to watch that all the time back in the day. That was,
Good stuff.
yeah.
People Under the Stairs. I mean, it's like suburban
Ugh.
horror.
I hate that movie.
Yeah.
You do? Oh, okay.
Hated
That's
it.
that's an interesting take.
Yeah. I like that.
I watched it as an adult and was like, no, sir.
Interesting.
All right.
I mean, it's not like amazing, just but
I don't know. I kind of feel like it sort of holds up in like is interesting social horror in a way.
I
that
watched
I
it-
didn't get it as a kid, and I was too busy being like S&M. What the hell? But now
Yeah.
as an adult, watching all of the sort of like racial stuff and the like gentrification stuff, and
I watched it for the first time probably like 2010 and was like, oh yeah, this is okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's also it's not like canonical or anything. Like it's not like people hold it up as
no, I kind
The
of feel
people
like
who are
it's-
into it are very into it. People Under the Stairs, are we
Yeah.
still talking about that? Yeah.
yeah.
I zoned out for a second.
What a guy! What a guy!
Wow.
All right.
I'm
before
really
I-
nailing it tonight.
I was with you, Rachel.
Thank
Before I
you.
get comfortable again. Popcorn Dot Designs. Anyone else actively hide from their neighbors? Just me?
Depends. Yeah, I mean, I hid from Mr. Bonnie Bell.
I had a
lipstick,
neighbor who was schizophrenic years ago and would accost me when I was out walking my dog to tell me all the people that were plotting against her. And that was kind of a bummer. So I'd have to like make sure she was not around.
Yeah, my neighbors nowadays are. We've all lived here for a good bit, so we're all used
On
to
the
each
last one, real quick, Eddie has a great entry that I'm with, which is Rear Window.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw that for the first time last year, and I was like,
Oh,
That is
pretty
a good
good.
one.
it's great.
Yeah, this movie's alright.
I don't really go back that far unless somebody makes me.
Yeah.
Okay, Grand Old Pukers. Worst neighbor, Dan Aykroyd's character from the movie Neighbors, or a houseboat with a Dracula in it?
What?
I'm not sure. I was hoping.
I feel
that
like
you
there was
guys
a
would get
glitch
it.
in the Matrix. Again?
Also, Dan Aykroyd, is he in? I'm so confused.
I
What
thought that
movie
was
is he
Randy
in called
Quaid, too.
Neighbors?
No, there is. This was in this article I just was googling. There was a movie called Neighbors that had Dan Aykroyd in it.
Oh, weird. No idea what that is.
Drummer from Foghat. What would you do if Brock Lesnar was your neighbor and you accidentally killed him? Dig
I
big
bet he's a
hole.
great neighbor. He's got
Totally.
that farm out there in like Nebraska or Omaha or something. You know, I'm sure he's just like
Yeah. He'd be handy to call over.
Doing-
Hey, can you help me carry this in?
cow stuff.
Help me move this furniture. Last up, so right now, has Blumhouse's output in recent years shifted in terms of quality compared to their early days?
I don't know that it has so much as they're just making a lot more. Like, I still think they're making interesting movies, but they're making a lot of everything. Like,
Yeah.
so you're
It's
seeing
always been a
more,
mixed bag.
right? So I just think they're more,
I think you're just seeing more to Eric's.
they're exposed more, and so there are duds, you're just noticing it more.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, it's a good sign for Blumhouse, I suppose, because they're profitable enough that they're producing more movies and getting them out there. So, it's
Yeah,
a
I
mixed
remember
bag.
there was like a time where they were like dumping a lot of stuff onto Netflix that were. I mean, I think there's always been sort of like a mix. It's just when they hit, they've had some really big hits.
Yeah.
It's always been mixed.
Well, it does seem like there for a while they were saving the good stuff for theatrical releases and doing the mediocre stuff, like you said,
Well-
direct to video. But now you're getting more of a mix in the.
And they take small swings largely. Like, occasionally when they have IP or something, they'll go real hard, like on Halloween. But largely they're like $5 million movies. Like, I'm sure
Yeah.
Megan wasn't even that expensive.
No, that is their like secret sauce. Is they don't spend that much money on any of these things, so they
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
They can take some risks.
Is that it for Threads?
Other than that, Raven Lillum says that they're going to watch tonight too, our stream. So hope you enjoyed.
Nice. Welcome. If you too want to watch the stream, you can check out patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror. All right, Rory coming in hot. Which BGH host would make the worst neighbor?
Huh.
Are we talking a house or an apartment here? Because those are two very different things, I feel like.
it's true.
In a house, the problem I'm going to have is I don't care about the lawn. So you're not going to like what's going on out there.
Pretty bad.
Like, I just don't care.
Pretty bad.
And in an apartment, I have two small, loud children. So like, you're probably not loving that either.
So I think you win, Eric.
Yeah, maybe.
You're up there. You are
I feel like I'm a
definitely up
good
there.
neighbor. I'm a good neighbor.
Yeah, I think we're pretty good neighbors too. We're like too conscientious to be bad neighbors, is for better or worse.
Yeah, I'm always like clasping my pearls over people. I'm like, don't they know other people exist when people are like talking above a whisper outside? So I think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so maybe that makes me a bad neighbor, is that I'm like the creepy one that's looking out the window, like
Whatever.
judgingly.
Silently judging people is like, that's no skin off their back, really.
Worst roommate experience. My one college roommate I had would listen to Weird Al on his laptop every night before bed with the speakers on, no headphones. Apparently headphones didn't exist in 2001, John. And so I know like Weird Al deep cuts because this asshole would just play them every night while I was trying to sleep.
That's really weird.
It's
Like,
really
that's
weird.
Pretty
Yeah.
up there from
He
a
was
weirdness
pretty
standpoint.
weird.
maybe I told this story, and I'll try to be quick. But like when I did the first time I moved in with my wife, it was her and her roommate, and I became like the third. And then the roommate went to business school, which like we knew was going to happen, and that was like sort of why I moved in. And we were like, maybe we'll figure it out. And then my wife and I were like, maybe let's just get another roommate because like we don't need to we'll save money. And so we got a roommate, and he was fucking weird. And like he was like immediately causing problems and like leaving shit. He just like wasn't a good roommate. I mean, and like he was like it was like awkward. Like we were like, hey, like let's talk about like some of the things about how we take care of the apartment. And he was just like, so cool, yeah, totally get it. And then just like could not take care of himself kind of situation. So like a month into him being there, we were like, we decided we got to get out of here.
So did you guys move out?
Oh yeah, we broke the lease, and he was fucked. Like he just had to get out
That's
of there.
an amazing level of non-confrontational.
Yeah.
Well,
even for
no,
me.
we did try. Like we there was. I'm like trying. I'm sort of cutting the story short. There was a lot of trying. There was other issues. It wasn't just him. Like we were like kind of ready to not be in this apartment anyway for other separate reasons, but he was like the straw that broke the camel's back to a certain extent. We were just like, fuck it, we're out. Let's go. Ripcord. So, yeah.
All right. Eric, this is from Plug It Up Pod. Eric, plug It Up episode that comes out on Tuesday. This is why I love Caitlin, because like I'm really glad she did that, because otherwise I would have forgotten. And that's the exact place to put that reminder, because she knew that I would see it. There you go. That's just
She's
helpful.
a pro.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on Plug It Up this week, John. First time ever.
What do you guys
I'm
review?
downloading.
First appearance. We are reviewing the 2001 film May
Oh,
by Lucky
good
McKee.
one.
It's
Yeah.
one of my favorites, and it was a fun discussion. So check it out. Plug It Up.
Is it just the two of you?
Yep.
Oh,
And just a little tease, but a little birdie tells me you may hear Caitlin over here on BGH sometime.
Yeah, we're
in
gonna
the
have her
near
on
future,
soon.
too.
It's the first time she's been on in a while, so it'd be cool.
Yay.
All right. I don't understand this question, but I have to know what it is. This is from Matt. What is your favorite flavor of Monster Munch? Is he talking about the cereal? Like, what is?
I don't know what Monster Munch
We
is.
all pull out our phones. Monster Munch.
let's see. Monster Munch. No. Well, it looks like it's a consumer packaged good.
Thanks,
A
John.
British
I've never even heard of
corn
this.
snack created by Smiths in
Oh, this is like
1977.
some Takis
It's British.
BS kind of thing, but it's British. Yeah.
I don't know. It looks
Maybe
like
he's
something I would eat.
British and doesn't know that we don't have this.
There's a roast beef flavor. I mean, Eric, if he's listening to the show, I think he understands that we're not British. Like, it's
Yeah. I don't think anybody's going to confuse us.
yeah. So yeah.
I
Hold
have
on,
one of those stores around here, and it's in the Haunted Mall actually, that sells like imported snacks. Like you can go get all the like Japanese flavored Kit Kats and like weird chip flavors and stuff.
So here is your Monster Munch flavor options: roast beef,
No.
saucy / sizzling bacon / salt and vinegar. That's the blue monster.
That's
the yellow
one
monster.
flavor.
Well, I think it may be like varied over time. I don't know. There's a yellow monster where the flavors are pickled onion, cheese and onion / saucy. I don't know. And then the orange monster is giant prawn pickled onion.
You can
This
get
is
them
a
on
trap.
Amazon.
No, thank you.
I guess the cheese one? Whichever
I mean,
one has
that's
cheese.
the obvious answer. Yes.
I don't know. I'd go for the roast beef. I'd try it.
I did follow this guy on TikTok for a while when I was still on there that just reviewed like exotic, weird flavored potato chips every day. And as part of his review, so first he'd try it, then he would make a sandwich out of them. With white bread, butter, and then just smash a bunch of chips in the middle. And so he would review like how well they sandwiched, which I appreciated. I like the thoroughness of that.
I like that.
Colleen was getting one of those snack crates or international yums or whatever it was during the pandemic when we were in quarantine. And I don't remember what country it came from, but they had a fried egg potato chip. which everybody in the house hated, but I thought it was amazing.
Sounds like it would taste like a fart.
A little bit.
I do feel like that crate
Somehow
is like
it was good.
It's like a fun idea where 60% of the stuff you're just like, this is fucking gross and throw it away. So
It totally is.
yeah.
That's the last question
Oh,
for the evening.
okay.
Rachel, you're gonna join us in Cincinnati.
Yes, I am.
You didn't have like a horn noise, Eric, that you could. Yeah.
We're like, wah, wah, wah.
Insert jock jams here. Dun, dun, dun,
Yes.
dun, 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 dun.
Yep, I'm staying at the same hotel as you guys, so we can party it up. I'm excited.
Nice.
Oh, I'm going to have to prepare for hangovers.
Are we all
Are you-
staying in the same room, John?
No, we have 2 rooms because Casey has a lady friend joining him. If you
Yes,
remember.
my lady friend is coming with me.
Rachel, do you have a friend, lady or otherwise, coming? Oh, all right.
No,
Well,
my friend who lives in Ohio might come and like hang out for like part of it, but no, I'm rolling solo.
What do you say?
So
John?
I will be glomming onto you guys. I hope you're ready for
let's
that.
go. Let's go.
John, what do you
Okay.
think? Single bed? Just putting it out there.
I mean, I requested
Still
2,
gonna be cold that
but
time of year.
we'll see.
I mean,
Just
you
think
just
about it.
push those beds together.
You already requested 2, 3 months out. I like it.
I mean,
don't know.
when you request the room, you do get to pick. Anyway, yes.
Let's be realistic here, dudes. We got 2 rooms, and if things go realistically, Colleen's going to want me to go into the room with you guys.
Every horror round we've done so
Hells
far, the end of every evening has been like, I've been in bed for 2 hours. My eyes are covered. Probably have earplugs in or something. And then everybody comes back hammered and just ruins my life.
Yeah, it's.
Well, it'll
in the
just
pa-
be me this time, so
I'll find a
hopefully
way in
won't
there.
ruin it. There you go.
In the past, it was always me crawling into bed with Eric.
There was one time where there was like 5 of us at least in one room and 2 people with CPAP machines. And I was just like, this is not
It was
great,
a lot.
guys.
Couldn't you just like get between them and like have a stereo CPAP
Oh.
situation?
God.
Hey, it was.
You know
better
what
than
really
without the CPAP.
holds those earplugs in is a good spider bonnet.
Oh my God, I totally forgot
So-
this. Okay, so I start working today and I'm on some website and I get an ad for Temu, which is that just like bootleg Chinese Amazon that just sells like garbage. One of the pictures is what literally from the image just looks like a condom for your ear.
I got that ad too.
Okay, yeah. And the first thing
See?
I thought
It's
of
a
was
movement.
Rachel and her like fear of spiders going in her ear at night. Like, so these
I
are
had
like
that
great
exact same experience.
backup options. So I just texted it to her. I was like, look at this. Check this out.
Yeah, that's for travel. Like if you don't want to take the whole bonnet, you just take a little, pop it on there.
It
Then- and
literally
you're
looks
good
like
to
a
go.
condom. It's amazing.
Yes. Well, you don't want spiders breeding in there, do you? No, you do
Did
not.
you ever combine the eye cover with
Seems
the ear
bad.
cover?
No, but you know what? Maybe I'll get it together before Cincinnati. And I'll let you try out the prototype.
You're gonna be in a hotel. You might need it.
Oh,
Just get-
trust me, it will be packed. I don't know what kind of spiders y'all got in the Midwest.
We could build you a sleep helmet.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean that's basically what's going on. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
All right.
Well, I'm
Well, if
excited.
you want to join us, check out horroronweekend.com. It's a pretty cool guest list.
And by join us, that we mean by in Eric and John's hotel room.
What are we drinking, John? That's my question. What are we drinking in Cincinnati?
What are we
do
not drinking?
What do you like to wet your whistle with?
He doesn't care.
I'm not that discriminating. I
He
mean,
really doesn't
I
care.
I have my faves, but
I
let's
feel
just
like
see
you
how we
would drink
feel.
like a fancy, like a scotch. Are you a scotch man? Do you want your drink to taste like a foot? I feel like
Typically,
he
I
likes
would
to
prefer a
slum it.
bourbon to a scotch.
okay, good to know.
I'm a simple American, American man.
I'll keep that in mind. I'm in bourbon country. I'll have to think about it.
I will not
do
be
enjoy a
responsible
bourbon.
for you, John.
I would never dream of such a thing. So, don't worry, we're gonna have a good time. I'm very excited. Very excited you're coming, Rachel. It's gonna be great.
I'm excited too.
Should be fun. All right. That's going to do it. Patreon.com/bloodygoodhorror.
Next
Do we know
week,
when next week is?
ISS.
IS. Okay, this is theatrical.
Woman directed.
Also known as
Have you seen it, Rachel?
Not yet.
Okay.
No.
looks fun.
It could still be bad, Rachel.
No,
I said woman
actually-
directed.
women don't make bad movies.
Are you an ally or are you not?
I really like that Black Christmas remake.
Oh boy,
That's really funny.
got him.
All right. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoy the show. We'll talk to you next week.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.